Last week, we made a video about the state of Indiana high school all-star team scrimmaging, or I guess all-star gaming against the state of Kentucky prep all-stars. Well, all-star week continued last night, and we had Indiana's junior class all-stars against Indiana's senior class all-stars. This is an event that the state of Indiana puts on every single year. Obviously, it's a great showcase for their prep talent. This year, it was a great showcase for none other than Purdue commit Luke Ertel, who led the junior all-stars to a 3-point win, 117 to 114, over the senior class all-stars. The senior class roster loaded for what it's worth. You have Trey Singleton, a Northwestern commit. You have Braylon Mullins, the UConn commit, 5-star that everybody wanted, and a bunch of other guys that will be playing high-level college basketball. The junior class team, Luke Ertel is the only current commit that I can tell. And Luke Ertel was by far the best player on the floor in this game. He had 36 points on 13 shot attempts. He was 8 for 13 from the floor, 5 for 7 from 3, 15 for 15 from the free throw line. I mean, unreal. To go with it, he had 4 assists and 9 rebounds in this game. This is the second time in a week, because I mentioned the other All-Star game last week, that Luke Ertel has just flat out slaughtered everybody on the opposition. I mean, he's been the best player in the gym both of these events. I think people know he's good now. I don't think anybody expected him to go toe-to-toe with Braylon Mullins and Trey Singleton and just dominate them. And that's what he did from start to finish. You can find video of this. The full game was streamed online last night. You can find clips all over Twitter. Shout out to Brandon Ramsey from KSR, who was in the gym covering this. But I will tell you, as soon as you find video of this, I've seen the footage. Luke Ertel was just everywhere. I mean, the shot making on full display. He gets wherever he wants. He's got every shot in the book, fadeaways, off the dribble stuff. This kid's a superstar at this point. And for what it's worth, I know I'm being long-winded, but I think he deserves it right now. There was a tweet from Kyle Nedenreep who said that Luke Ertel's 36 points was the most ever by a junior all-star in this game. The previous record for a junior was 29 points by Eric Gordon and Greg Oden way back in the day. The most in the history of the game was 44 points by Trayvon Blewett. And 36 is the second most points ever scored in the history of this game that's been running for decades at this point. Those guys are college superstars and NBA lottery picks. And this is Luke Ertel, a junior who will be headed to Purdue in the footsteps of Braden Smith at some point. Just absurd, Riley. What are your thoughts?
In 49 states, it's just basketball. No, I mean, you hit a lot of the high points. The kid looks like a killer. I was watching this thinking, like, you know how you like to make your joke that Doug McDaniel was Marquise Noel, the musical?
Yes.
Like, I would have said Luke Ertel is Braylon Mullins the musical, and he just went out there and like outplayed Braylon Mullins. Also, could have sworn Braylon Mullins was a lefty too, and then I went back and watched his highlights. He's very much a right-handed shooter, but like for the sake of that exercise, let's Braylon feels like a lefty to me, so it makes a little more sense. But yeah, and this was after you might have said this already, but putting up a triple double in that Kentucky versus Indiana showcase as well, where it's like having back-to-back 36-point games in these types of moments. Like you said, I make the joke about 49 states, it's just basketball, but I know how seriously Indiana folks take their high school hoops. Like these don't seem like meaningless all-star showcases. It's something to actually build off of. I know Ertel is all the way up to 101 and on three's most recent updated rankings, which I believe Jamie Shaw updated less than a week ago, might have even been a few days ago. So it's crazy to me where it's like, he's a rising star on the Adidas circuit. He has a great chance to build on that this summer. I am very curious to see like how his stock continues to rise because it doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like he's just a one-dimensional shooter or something who's liable to get hot and make 7 in a game or something. Like I think the way he can cook in the mid-range is so crucial, or just it seems like it's like the footwork, everything about it. I like the way he carries himself too. High school quarterback. Like I'm always in on that archetype, the high school quarterback who plays hoops. And even when you look at the aesthetic, Greg, I read a report of this game. For one, he left the game with blood on his shirt, came back, Warrior. Secondly, he was wearing like the early 2000s baggy shorts, putting up these numbers on dudes who were just presumably better than him. Like everything about it is like, yeah, this kid is gonna be a fan favorite from day one.
That's
Was
Card's
he?
favorite thing about him too. Card always brings up the baggy.
Uh,
Yeah, it's
Was
great.
he the one? I swear it was like a full episode back in the fall where you were like making fun of Purdue for recruiting this kid. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
This video is brought to you by NBA2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh.
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
Please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's. That's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
I'm not trying to dunk on you or whatever, but I'm like, I
No.
swear for someone who like both G and Cart made fun of for, and are like, why is Purdue even going after this kid in the portal era?
No,
And
this is classic. One of the trademarks of Sleepers Media at this point is we get something abundantly wrong at first impression and then immediately backtrack it and come backwards. What I will say is this: I 100% stand by our reasoning behind blasting the Luke Ertel commit originally. It wasn't even necessarily anything about Luke Ertel, the player. It was much more the way Paint approached last offseason, which was like outwardly, I don't need the portal. My
Mhm.
program is above that. And then just he had loaded up on a 6-man freshman class that included Jack Benter, who redshirted, Riley Burgess, who barely contributed to last year's team, a bunch of dudes who didn't help last year's team that clearly needed help, right? And to do in the middle of that summer, take a guy so far down the line when I was like, you have Braden Smith and TKR, you need
Right.
to help them now. That's what our frustration was out loud. I think our frustration played out as true in the season. Just Luke Ertel became the face of it, right? Because we used him as our outlet of like, this is what's wrong with Paint. This is what's right with Paint at the same time. And Paint has already learned now he can do both, right? Like you didn't lose Luke Ertel because you went and got Oscar Clough and Omer Mayer. You're just
Mm-hmm.
helping your program even more. And point blank, to be completely honest with you, Ertel's rise is unlike anything I've ever seen from a junior to a senior in high school. Whether from a Purdue player, other college basketball player, I don't care, pick one. This guy was not doing this when we blasted the commitment. And I'm happy to put clown makeup on and just own that I was wrong now. We've sung his praises as much as we can and we'll continue to do it at this point. But truly, from who he was when he committed, the game logs he was putting up, the stats, the highlights, all of it, it's just in a totally different universe. It's a realm of the galaxy that Luke Ertel was not approaching when he
Hmm.
committed to Purdue. And it's a testament to Paint's evaluation skills, obviously. But this leads me to my pivot here. This kid's the most underrated player in the country. I mean, 24/7 has him 136th nationally right now as a 3-star. I don't have ESPN or On3's ratings in front of me. I
On three
believe,
is 101.
yeah, I believe he's outside the top 100 everywhere still. How on earth can you watch what he did in these two games this week and leave him outside the top 100? I mean, respectfully, I watched the game. Braylon Mullins is not as good as Luke Ertel right now. And Braylon Mullins is a 5-star that we adore. I can promise you, I don't think Dan Hurley was in the gym for this. I know Kentucky KSR people were. Anyone that was in the gym watching this will come away with the same conclusion as me. Luke Ertel is the guy in these games. And for him to still be outside the top 100 just because he's 6'1", 170 with baggy shorts, I think is insane. This kid at minimum is a top 40 player in the class of 2026 to me right now. I don't think he's actually going to approach 5-star status, just given his intangibles. But God, I think he should. And I'll go one step further. This sounds crazy, but I really was thinking about this last night after watching this. Um, I think there's a chance that Luke Ertel will go down as the most underrated ad that Painter has had of his career. And maybe underrated is not the right word, but like what he will become at Purdue will be so different than what he was originally rated. And that sounds crazy because Zach Edey was a 3-star that ended up the 2-time National Player of the Year. But Zach Edey in high school, when Zach Edey showed up to campus at Purdue, he was not what he became. His development happened at Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Ertel, I think right now could play for Purdue. And nobody sees that coming. But you find, I mean, it's Greg Oden, Eric Gordon, and Trayvon Blewett that have ever done this. And all those guys were studs immediately in college. You have to completely reframe your thoughts on this kid. He's not a developmental piece anymore. He's going to get to Purdue and play and be one of the best guards on that team. And good Lord, it must be fun to be a Purdue fan with this.
Could he really play for Purdue right now, G?
I truly believe he could. Truly.
That is where I keep going back to the size thing. Like
they start CJ Cox at the 2.
How big is CJ Cox? 6'2"?
Gotta be 6'1".
We'll say,
check.
Okay.
I mean, CJ Cox, good defender. Okay, he's 6'3", 6'3", 200.
That's my only pushback is that Ertel could play right now. I buy him long term as a prospect. I don't know, man. When you contextualize it with Greg Oden and Eric Gordon, it makes it really hard to like play any sort of devil's advocate.
I mean, Braylon Mullins is going to start at UConn. Singleton's going to start at Northwestern. Ertel destroyed them.
Is Singleton actually good?
He is good, yeah.
Okay.
He won't be their best player or anything, but I think he'll start right away.
Everything I read about him was just that he's not like a great athlete. He's more skill, inside out game. And honestly, reading his scouting report sounds a little like TKR-ish.
It's a mini TKR. Yeah, that's why Purdue fans were bummed they missed out on him because
gotcha.
He was a good archetype. But
I
don't know. I really do believe it, man. I think this is one the recruiting services have completely missed on, and I say that as a guy who completely missed on this 6 months ago. So I don't know. Watch the tape. Tell me if you disagree, but Purdue fans won't disagree. What this kid's doing is special.